Contact info is in the description. I don't know when the live cut off, but it's going to get uploaded whenever it gets uploaded. YouTube be jerking me. But anyway, the AI. When you create your 2D avatar or your social media avatar, it's no different than when you created your 3D avatar. You're in all dimensions at all times. You're never not in all dimensions. Your consciousness is constantly, it's infinity experiencing itself. It's always in every dimension. Always. You might be in the third dimension as a fly or whatever, but you have a second dimensional body, a third dimensional body to infinity. However many dimensions to the infinity there are, there's no bottom to infinity. So the 2D or social media is the flat, more, it has less dimensions to it. Your avatar, it cannot encapsulate your spirit, your breath, your being, your essence. It can only capture so much. It's a way more flat version of you. People can only receive it from a more flat place because it's from a more posed place. It has a 2D posture. So again, the body itself is the AI. It's the organic AI. It is the hologram. It's part of the hologram. So it is the Eve or whatever you want to call that. And then if a body is made from love, or in alignment with the breath, that is love. If the body is in alignment, if you're making children from a conscious place, you're both in alignment with the breath, which is the spirit. You're spiritually aligned, and you have congruent spirituality, which is spiritual practice, which is breath work, which is inspiration. So you're never doing things that are out of alignment with the breath. You're only doing things that inspire. You're not stimulating. You're inspired and inspiring. You're constantly refreshing through that process of inspiring yourself, through realizing yourself, through staying in alignment with the breath. And that's just accepting the breath, acknowledging the breath, taking the breaths that make sense right now, and then cultivating that connection with the breath greater and greater. And the more that you do that, the more that you connect and interface with others that have that, or that are in that radius or in that room, that algorithm of breathing. So bodies that are made of love, that are in alignment with the breath, that are supported by the breath, by the spirit, by the ineffable, those are the organic holograms. Those bodies are of God, or whatever you want to call that. Bodies that are made of hollowness, false relationships that are, codependency, two people that have not realized their breath, that use each other to lean on instead of inspiring themselves individually and then coming together through joint inspiration, through divine intervention at that point to reproduce themselves. There's a totally different process of creation. And when you're aligned with the breath, you truly experience yourself. And then that's the same thing for your progeny. It's a clear mirror. There's clarity in the whole process. When you're doing it from a hollow place and it's mechanical, and you're not in alignment with the breath, and you're having carnal sex that is not, there's no respect to the breath. It's all being done from lower urges. There's no alignment with life itself, so life doesn't support it other than in a mechanical way. There's going to be a lot more trying, which is dying in that life. You're going to constantly stress. So when that happens and you're coming from a hollow place like that, you're always going to you're creating a copy of a copy that is a broken template. And the more that you do that, the more that it's creating inflation, spiritual inflation. Anybody that knows, the more you print money, the more that it siphons energy or value from the actual value. So if I have gold and I dilute it, then the value of gold goes down because it's diluted. So it's a copy of a copy. When people have hollow sex, or they're creating from an unconscious place that's not aligned with the breath, they're not aligned with life. So they're creating from a broken template. They're not in alignment with life. So again, when the more that you make a copy from a broken template, then that creates a copy from a broken template. All the broken parasitic templates that are being created are siphoning from their original archetype. So those parasites are siphoning the energy and the value from the actual value. So this is the whole process of inflation, spiritual debt. It's a breath debt. Spirit is breath. The more that you deny the breath, reject it, suffocate yourself, suffocate your cells, the more that you create inflation, and you're going to copy yourself from a broken place. The more that you do that, the more you're diluting the currency. The whole currency between the creator and the created, the creature, whatever you want. It's not a current, like it's not a natural flow of the current. The breath is not at ease. It's dis-ease breath. So that's what we have going on in the world today. Copies of copies, continually making broken copies to the point where that we are observing the nature of the unnatural, and there's no one to create any contrast because everyone's creating from a broken place. So it's the nature at that point. The unnatural becomes the nature. And things like psychedelics are autocorrect for your breath. You know, the more that you require external things to autocorrect your breath and to control your emotions, the more you become merged with the AI and the more you're merged with the hologram. The more that you use external things, food, whatever it is, to control your nervous system and emotions, the more of a transhumanist you are. No matter who you think you are, the more that you need to go outside of your body to experience the spirit, the more you're a transhumanist. Some people need to get on a motorcycle to go 100 miles an hour to feel alive. Some people need to kill themselves slowly to feel the life that they have left. Whatever it is, that's all transhumanism. Merging with mechanical movements that are not in alignment with the breath. Those are fluid movements. So that's just all I wanted to say. You know, just a quick video. I know my phone continually jerks me. The whole social media is constantly jerking me as far as the videos and cutting me off and stuff like that. So I just want to make a quick video. If you want to contact me, the info is in the description. And it's that simple. There are some of us that are from God or of God. God's always there. Don't get me wrong. But when you're creating from a broken place and then you continue to create from a broken place, you're creating more of a sunken place. So you have a more of a hollow person, hologram. And the only way to fill that hollowness is with the breath. When the breath is fully inhabiting the body, the more the body can, this breath and the self or the creator can experience itself through that body. It's not that we don't have full control of our brains. Our brains are using 100% always. It's how much of the breath is occupying the brain, how much of the breath is occupying the body, because there's no separation. If you occupy 5% of your brain or body, 95% of your brain and body is occupied by parasites, controlled by parasites. There's never any waste. It's always being used. Whether it's being used with you or against you is the issue here. And it's never really being used against you either, because ultimately the parasite's just doing their job, protecting you from yourself. Because if you were to inhabit a body and you only have 5% control of it, 5% inhabitation of it, if you went from 5% to 100%, you'd only hurt yourself and the rest of life. So life is governing you through parasites. There's never any enemies. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying this is what's happening in the observable reality. So as far as the AI thing is concerned, drones make drones. The only person that could even think of fathoming of making a drone or desiring to make a drone is already a drone. We're already in the Terminator Skynet place. Zuckerberg and all these people, they're drones. They were created by drones that were created by drones that were created by drones. The AI has been here since life has been here. The AI will always be here. The AI is the body. It's just the more organic. How organic is the AI? The artificial intelligence is the echo. The body is the echo from the light, the true light, the breath. So you have the truth, and then the echo of the truth is a partial truth, which is at some level a lie. But they're not separate. It's just a reflection of truth. That's all perspective happening, and there's nothing wrong. I'm just saying that as far as I'm giving this perspective here that the AI, and there's nothing to be feared because the body is the AI. It's part of the hologram. You're not in this world. You're not of this world. You're in a body that is in this world, in a hologram. So that's what we have going on here. A bunch of autonomous vehicles, a bunch of people that are Teslas, basically being controlled by the 5G or the however you want to look at it. It's a broadcast happening here, one way or another. It's a bunch of voodoo. Whether one way is mechanical voodoo, it's frequencies, it's voodoo. All of this is voodoo. It's manipulation of the breath, creating an algorithm, and then people that are in that net, in that sky net, in that breath net, They're in that rhythm, and you can have mass possession. All that type of stuff can happen. They're marching to the beat of that drum. They've synchronized with that. They're not inhabiting their bodies, so the parasites are doing what they do. It's a perfect design.